In Egypt, thousands of protesters have defied a government curfew. Riot police fought with protesters in the port cities of Port Said, Suez and Ismailia, where states of emergency are in force. There was also a fifth day of fighting between police and demonstrators in central Cairo, where one person was shot dead.
These streets were supposed to be empty tonight, but protesters in the city of Ismailia have defied the president's orders. Down with the rule of the Muslim Brotherhood's supreme guide, they chant, a reference to President Morsi, who they say has betrayed the values of Egypt's revolution.
This is the result of Morsi's decisions. Ismailia was stable, and he is to be blamed for all of what is happening now, and God only knows what could happen in the future.
There were also protests in the other two cities under curfew, Suez and Port Said, where the army has been deployed and given emergency powers to arrest civilians.
The government has also agreed a measure to let soldiers arrest civilians. I've lost my son, this woman says. How can I get him back? He's sleeping now. None of this can bother him anymore. In Port Said, there are more ominous signs of just how far law and order has broken down. Here, a sniper hidden in a building targets people standing in the street.
We are completely rejecting everything that President Morsi declared. He imposed a curfew and a state of emergency, things he used to oppose when he was a member of parliament.
Thousands in Port Said attended funerals on Monday for those killed over the weekend, after a court sentenced 21 people to death for their role in deadly football riots last year. Dozens of people have been killed in clashes across the country in recent days, and some Egyptians say the state of emergency was, in fact, necessary.
It was a situation which required firmness, or else huge chaos would have broken out in Suez and Port Said. And this is very dangerous for us because we know that the Suez Canal is nearby, and this is a very active lifeline for the whole world.
Anti-government protests have also been rocking the capital Cairo since Friday, when the country marked the 2-year anniversary of the beginning of the revolution that ousted Hosni Mubarak. Demonstrators accuse Mohamed Morsi of being as autocratic as his predecessor and of curbing civil liberties.
The emergency laws will mean police will have extended powers. People will not be as free to protest anymore, if at all. Remember, Egypt lived under emergency law nationwide for more than 40 years, many of those years under former President Hosni Mubarak. The question now, how will Egyptians, many of who've lost their fear to protest, react to these declarations? Will they heed President Morsi's call, or will these declarations fuel their anger? We should also point out that President Morsi offered to talk to opposition factions in his televised address. Those opposition factions held an emergency meeting on Monday and rejected the president's offer, describing it as a waste of time. The opposition, they have demands for the president. They're calling on him to take responsibility for the people killed over the weekend. They want him to amend the Constitution and put in place a new government. There's absolutely no sign that the president is going to accept those demands, and no sign that these two sides are going to meet anytime soon.